This is not a time for pessimism. This is a time for optimism. Fear and doubt is not a good thought process, because this is a time for tremendous hope and joy and optimism and action. But to embrace the possibilities of tomorrow, we must reject the perennial prophets of doom and their predictions of the apocalypse. We must reject the perennial prophets of doom and their predictions of the apocalypse. We must reject the perennial prophets of doom and their predictions of the apocalypse.
Giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Salutations to my fellow laborers pushing this truth in all sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect. And the title of this lesson is The Perennial Prophets of Doom and Predictions of the Apocalypse. The Perennial Prophets of Doom and the Predictions of the Apocalypse. And the word perennial is an adjective meaning lasting or existing for a long or apparently infinite time. And the word apocalypse means the complete final destruction of this world, as described in the biblical book of Revelation. Okay? The title of this lesson is The Perennial Prophets of Doom and Predictions of the Apocalypse. We live in a world that likes to pretend. It's a world of appearances where any uncomfortable truths are pushed to the side. It seems to be just human nature where we like to defer facing any possibility of a negative reality for as long as possible, as if ignoring reality is going to somehow alleviate the effects of that reality. It's like that proverbial ostrich with its head in the sand, with its huge body sticking out still, or that little child covering his ears because he doesn't want to hear the truth. Sirach 5:15 says, "Be not ignorant of anything, whether in a great matter or a small." 2 Corinthians 2:11 says, "Be not ignorant of Satan's devices, lest he should gain an advantage over us." And those are commandments, not suggestions. People always want to hear smooth things. Smooth things. Things that make them feel good. This is Isaiah chapter 30. I'm going to start from maybe verse 7. "For the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this." So when it says the Egyptians shall help in vain, it's speaking about the Americans. Okay? And it's not going to profit anyone anything. It says their strength is to sit still. Their strength is to sit still because they want to pretend like everything is fine. They have normalcy bias. They think that things are always going to remain how they are today. They make fun of preppers. They make fun of anyone who has a pessimistic or cynical outlook, right? Even though those people are basing their outlook on facts. And they have all kinds of nicknames for you, like Negative Nelson or Debbie Downer, or according to Donald Trump, Perennial Prophets of Doom, which kind of has a nice ring to it, actually. But it goes on in Isaiah 30. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Most High, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise his word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh forth suddenly at an instant. So our people have always been rebellious liars, children that don't want to hear the truth. This is Zechariah 7:11. But they refused to hearken, and pulled away the shoulder, and stopped their ears, that they should not hear. But Sirach 6:35 says, be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. But our people, they don't want to hear that. The Most High sent his servants to warn the people whenever there was impending danger. When anyone came to tell them the truth, they tried to kill them, right? And in many instances succeeded, because they trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon. They trust in America. That's what they do. Like you have this guy calling himself Chief Priest Alazar of the Sikari group of Israelites, who made a comment saying that Yahawashi might come 1,000 years from now. And that's because he's trusting in oppression and perverseness and is comfortable in this society. Because even if you're going to make a statement like that, right? What about those folks who are going to die tonight? Right? Because when you tell people these types of things, they get complacent. You see? And I don't know if he made that concession, but nonetheless, you can't give our people any kind of leeway to continue in sin and forego repentance for a later date, because tomorrow is not promised. And we're going to get it. The prophets of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, have always been called doomsday prophets. Okay? Because they told the truth about what was going to be happening in the future. And people didn't want to hear it. But this is Jeremiah 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. So we today, who folks are calling doomsday prophets, we are prophesying against America and letting you know that she's going to be destroyed with war and evil and pestilence. But most people don't want to hear that. They want to hear smooth things or lies. And if you tell them the truth, they're going to hate you. This is Galatians 4:16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? You see, so people have it completely backwards. They think that when someone tells them things that they want to hear, it's because that person cares about them. But when you truly care about someone, you tell them the truth. Because it might hurt their feelings initially, but you will be giving them knowledge in order to rectify the situation with the truth, right? This is Luke chapter 6, verse 22 on down. Blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you, and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. Rejoice ye in that day, and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. You see that? So prophets are lonely people. True prophets, that is. You have a lot of folks running around calling themselves prophets when they are not warning the people about what's coming. When they are quite comfortable in this wicked society and would wish to delay our master's coming. Like it talk about in Matthew 24 from verse 47 on down. But when you speak the truth, and people want to destroy you. That's one of the reasons why we know we have the truth in this Hebrew Israelite ministry. Because everyone is coming up against us. Right? Nobody's going up against Rastafari or going up against Islam or going up against Christianity as such. With the vitriol that people are coming up against us. It's because we speak the truth. You check it out. This is Isaiah 29 from verse 20. For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. So when you speak the truth, especially about the wicked elite, they have all kinds of names for you. They make you an offender for a word. They want to call you a terrorist, not because of your actions, but just because you tell the truth. There's a saying that goes something like, to tell the truth in a world of lies is a revolutionary act. And that's a very true statement. And we are living in a world of lies. And when you speak the truth, you will be called a doomsday prophet. The only prophets or pastors or priests not warning the people of the impending doom are what you call hucksters. So now a huckster, let's get that in Sirach 26. Verse 29 says, a merchant shall hardly keep himself from wrongdoing, and an huckster shall not be freed from sin. Now what is a huckster? A huckster is someone who wants to sell you something. And in this context, a huckster is a false prophet who wants to gather up followers to himself, to sell merchandise to them so that he can enrich his own pockets. So he's going to be giving you advice and counsel based on how that's going to affect his pocket, his bottom line. Okay? Ezekiel 34 and 2 says, woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks? But these hucksters are feeding themselves. Okay? This is Sirach 37, starting from the 7th verse. Every counselor extolleth counsel, but there is some that counseleth for himself. Beware of a counselor, and know before what need he hath, for he will counsel for himself, lest he cast the lot upon thee, and say unto thee, thy way is good, and afterward he stand on the other side to see what shall befall thee. These hucksters, or these prosperity prophets, right? Whether they be in whatever denomination they are in, even if they're in an Israelite camp, who are telling you that Yahawashi is going to delay his coming, is a huckster, because they are going to profit from you being lukewarm. Because if they tell you the truth, perhaps you might not want to be with that group anymore. And as regards this Sikari group, I remember when I showed one of my past acquaintances that we are most likely part of the lost tribes of the nation of Israel. You know, she was very concerned about not being able to wear her pants anymore. That was one of her major concerns. And so one day she came and she told me, Sikari says we can wear pants. You know, I don't know if it's true. I didn't really look into it because it just seems stupid, to think that. The scripture says that a woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to a man, and a man should not wear that which pertaineth to a woman. And that's pursuant to Deuteronomy 22:5. And women only started wearing pants in the 1900s. Okay? So there you go. In any case, people are going to gravitate to those groups and those leaders who tell them what they want to hear so that they can continue with whatever they want to continue, whether it's of the Most High or not. That's a huckster, someone who just wants to sell you something. So he's just going to tell you what you want to hear. But the true prophets of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi don't care what you think. They don't want anything from you. You understand? We are only here to tell you, thus saith the Most High, pursuant to Ezekiel 2:7. Whether they hear or whether they forbear, doesn't matter, as long as we do our part to warn you. And that's what we're doing. Okay? At the end of the day, these hucksters, they love the world. And they don't mind if it continues on for another 1,000 years, so long as they have money in their pockets and the ability to do whatever wickedness they want to do. But we are tired of this place. Okay? And we have the opportunity to make money and all of that too. But we desire things that are higher than this world has to offer. You understand? We have set our affection on things above. Like you talk about in Colossians, the 3rd chapter, maybe the 2nd verse, or somewhere thereabouts, right? We want durable riches, pursuant to Proverbs 8:18. We want incorruptible bodies, pursuant to 1 Corinthians 15. We are not satisfied with what this backward society has to offer. We are patiently waiting for our enemies to be made our footstool. Revelation 13:9 and 10 says that the patience of the saints is for he that leadeth into captivity to go into captivity. That means our oppressors have to be our slaves. But the title of this lesson is The Perennial Prophets of Doom and Predictions of the Apocalypse. And if you listen to those hucksters, instead of listening to the true prophets who are warning you of doomsday events on the horizon, particularly the apocalypse, then you might just be destroyed when those doomsday scenarios come on the scene. Let's read an account of some folks listening to hucksters instead of listening to what you would call a doomsday prophet, and find out what happened to them. This is 1 Kings 22. I'm going to start from verse 5. And it's speaking about Jehoshaphat, king of Judah at the time, who wanted to inquire whether he should go to war or not. And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, Inquire, I pray thee, at the word of Yahawah today. Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, about 400 men, and said unto them, Shall I go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, Go up, for Yahawah shall deliver it into the hand of the king. And Jehoshaphat said, Is there not here a prophet of Yahawah besides, that we may inquire of him? And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, There is yet one man, Micaiah, the son of Imlah, by whom we may inquire of the Most High. But I hate him, for he doth not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said, Let not the king say so. Then the king of Israel called an officer and said, Hasten hither Micaiah the son of Imlah. And the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat the king of Judah sat each on his throne, having put on their robes, in a void place in the entrance of the gate of Samaria. And all the prophets prophesied before them. So here we see these two kings inquiring of the Most High through the prophets, and 400 prophets are telling them, yes, the Most High is going to bless you and prosper you and make you to be successful. Go ahead and fight this war. And then one of the kings, Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, said, Are there any more prophets that we can inquire of? Then the other king of Israel said, Yes, there's one more prophet. His name is Micaiah. But I hate him. Why? Because he's a doomsday prophet. And he doesn't prophesy good things about me. He just tells me about evil things. Right? So reading on in 1 Kings 22 from verse 11. And Zedekiah, the son of Shenanah, made him horns of iron. And he said, Thus saith Yahawah, With these shalt thou push the Syrians until thou have consumed them. And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, Go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper, for Yahawah shall deliver it into the king's hand. So now you see one of the prophets, Zedekiah by name, using gimmicks to trick the dumb people, in this case the two kings, right? He made him horns of iron and came in with the horns on his head, saying that with these the Most High is going to make you push the Syrians out and consume them. And all the rest of the prophets, 400 in total, prophesied, yes, that's true. The Most High is going to bless you and deliver you. Verse 13 now. And the messenger that was gone to call Micaiah spake unto him, saying, Behold now, the words of the prophets declare good unto the king with one mouth. Let thy word, I pray thee, be like the word of one of them, and speak that which is good. So now the messenger is trying to apply peer pressure to Micaiah, the prophet, to speak smooth things, right? Verse 14, And Micaiah said, As Yahawah liveth, what Yahawah saith unto me, that will I speak. So he came to the king, and the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall we forbear? And he answered him, Go and prosper, for Yahawah shall deliver it into the hand of the king. And the king said unto him, How many times shall I adjure thee, that thou tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of the Most High? So Micaiah was mocking the other prophets. And when he said what he said it in a mocking tone. Like, go and prosper, for the Most High shall deliver it into the hand of the king. You know, he was mocking the other prophets. So that's why the king had to say, listen, just tell me the truth, all right? Verse 17. This is Micah speaking the truth now. And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills, as sheep that have not a shepherd. And Yahawah said, These have no master. Let them return every man to his house in peace. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, Did I not tell thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me, but evil? And he said, Hear thou therefore the word of the Most High. I saw Yahawah sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. So the king of Israel was right, that this guy was a doomsday prophet and he would prophesy evil. But what if that evil is the truth? Does that even matter? To most people, it does not. They only want to feel good in this moment. You check it out? Like a low quality woman, she's just concerned about her feelings right in that moment. She doesn't have the foresight to understand how her inactions or actions will affect the rest of her life, as it were. Okay? Just like these wishy washy, double minded Israelites today who don't want to deal with reality. They want to think that everything is honky dory when death is actually knocking on the door. And when you consider that most people, whether they be pastors or priests or bishops or whomever, are speaking a prosperity doctrine, and only a few are actually what you would call doomsday prophets, it makes it easier to believe the majority instead of listening to the truth, which is never the majority, right? Because the majority of people are thinking and believing what you want to hear anyway. But I'm going to skip down now to verse 23. Now therefore, behold, the Most High hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and Yahawah hath spoken evil concerning thee. So what does that mean? The Most High is who sent those lying spirits to be in the mouth of those false prophets that most people want to listen to, just so that you could be deceived. Because this is only for the elect. Okay? And that's pursuant to Matthew 24:30, Romans 11 from verse 5 on down, and other places. Alright? But it goes on in verse 24. But Zedekiah, the son of Shenana, the same one who put that gimmick together with those iron horns and made a spectacle to say, yes, with these the Most High is going to push out the Syrians, right? The same one who did that. It says, But Zedekiah, the son of Shenana, went near and smote Micaiah on the cheek and said, Which way went the Spirit of the Most High from me to speak unto thee? And Micaiah said, Behold, thou, thou shalt see in that day when thou shalt go into an inner chamber to hide thyself. I like that. Micaiah ain't trying to smite him back. He's just telling him what's going to happen to him later on when he's all by himself. You check it out. Anyway, it goes on in verse 26. And the king of Israel said, Take Micaiah and carry him back unto Ammon, the governor of the city, and to Joash, the king's son, and say, Thus saith the king, Put this fellow in the prison, and feed him with bread of affliction, and with water of affliction, until I come in peace. And Micaiah said, If thou return at all in peace, the Most High hath not spoken by me. And he said, Hearken, O people, every one of you. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, went up to Ramoth Gilead. And you can read the rest of the story on your own, and you should, in 1 Kings 22. But suffice to say that those 400 false prophets were wrong, and the one doomsday prophet, the true prophet, was right. And those armies of Israel got destroyed, utterly wasted, including that king who didn't want to hear the truth, didn't even want to inquire what the prophet of doom was going to say. So are we prophets of doom? Absolutely. You could call us that if you want. Are we pessimistic? Sure. Are we even perhaps misogynistic? Well, it depends on what kind of definition you want to apply to that word, but perhaps. But all of those things don't really have anything to do with anything, because what we deal with is reality. We deal with the truth. You could label the truth as hate, or label the truth as not correct, or it doesn't feel right to you based on your emotions, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. We deal with the truth. And pretty soon everyone is going to have to deal with it. So might as well face it now. Obviously, right? If you have any sense, you could label it however you want to label it. We're not going to lie to you, even though it's going to perhaps make us have a better relationship with you. We're not going to deceive you. We're going to tell you, like Micaiah, whatever Yahawah said, that's what we're going to say. Because we are not representing ourselves. Oh, cha. You understand? We represent Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Not Jesus Christ. Because that's a damn lie. You check it out. His name is a lie. His color is a lie. His nationality is a lie. His doctrine is a lie. 2 Corinthians 11 and 4, I think it is, talk about another Jesus. Galatians 1 and 6 talk about another gospel. So you have to be sure about what it is you think you believe in these last days. All right? But if you want to call us the perennial prophets of doom, we will take that. We will wear that label and that badge proudly, just like all the prophets of old had to do so. And we do prophesy of doom and gloom and the destruction of America and all these world powers and all the heathen nations going into slavery, starting with Esau, Edom. Okay? And 2/3 of our people being destroyed. And it goes on and on. But guess what? That's not all we prophesy. That's not all we are prophesying. We are prophesying our deliverance, starting with the elect. We are prophesying the promises that were made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to be fulfilled. We are prophesying for our Master and Savior, Yahawashi, to return, to set up righteous governance on this planet. We are prophesying eternal life for the elect. We are prophesying a land of peace and prosperity for eternity. All right? I'm going to close off now with 1 Peter chapter 1, starting with the 3rd verse. Blessed be the power and Father of our Master Yahawashi HaMashiach, the Anointed, which according to his abundant mercy hath begotten us again unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahawashi from the dead, to an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, and that fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for you, who are kept by the power of the Most High through faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time. Wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations, that the trial of your faith bring much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahawashi, whom having not seen ye love, in whom, though now ye see him not, yet believing, ye rejoice with joy unspeakable and full of glory, receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls, of which salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you. Who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you. So we are not only prophesying doom, we are prophesying grace that should come unto us. All right? So Yahawah willing, this has been an edifying lesson, relevant unto salvation for the hopeful elect, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakudash. Shalom.